Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Alethea. So today we'll do a little short video on self-awareness. Self-awareness in the mind and self-awareness in the body. So we're going to combine two practices kind of simultaneously that just brings a little bit more awareness into the body and into the mind. So for today, all we need is a pillow. As you can see, I'm sitting on a pillow, so if you want to go ahead and grab a pillow or a bolster, something soft and squishy. You can roll up blankets or towels if you have those, but just something soft and squishy. And we'll start seated on our pillow, bolster, our blanket or towel. And we'll start with just a little bit of observing the breath. So first we'll observe the breath just without changing or manipulating it, just noticing how you're breathing. And as you breathe, we're going to be aware of how the upper body feels. So as you continue to breathe, maybe you notice that the chest is rising, maybe you notice that your shoulders are close to the ears, and whatever it is, just allowing that to kind of decompress or relax. So letting the shoulders to come down, perhaps letting the chest just to open a little. Be noticing, as you can see, that your head might be going to one side, and just finding a little bit of center. And maybe you notice that you're having tension in the arms, so just kind of letting the fingers relax and letting the forearms and the upper arms relax. And continuing just to observe the breath, no need to change or manipulate it. And then observe kind of the head placement, just noticing as we sit here, is the head going a little forward? Is it going a little back? Is the chin down? Is the chin up? Just noticing, not having to look in the mirror or anything, just noticing how it feels to you on the inside. Do you feel like your head is going forward? Do you feel like the head is going back? Do you feel like the chin is up? Do you feel like the chin is down? Continue to breathe, just becoming aware of the placement of your head. Perhaps you already corrected some of those little movements or maybe what you felt and you're playing with that. But it's not necessary, just observing. Whenever you feel ready, noticing where your spine is. So noticing maybe the top of the spine is arching, or maybe the back, the lower part of the spine is arching, maybe you're really curved, maybe it's a combination, just noticing the placement on the inside. No need to look at a mirror. Just kind of noticing where everything is sitting naturally. Maybe you're a little forward, maybe you're a little back. Maybe like me, now you're playing with that posture, noticing how it feels, maybe correcting some of that alignment on your own. Again, breathing naturally, no need to change the breath. And perhaps you notice where the sits bones are. So those two bones that kind of stick out, kind of anchor us when we sit. Just noticing now the whole alignment of the upper body down to the sits bones. Maybe noticing if the spine is in line with those sits bones, sitting nice and tall. Noticing if the head is out of alignment with the neck. And just noticing how that feels. And maybe you're changing your alignment, maybe not. Becoming aware of what that feels like in your body. And from here, it's up to you if you want to keep the legs crossed or staggered. Maybe you want to stretch them out for a moment. Just noticing what it feels like to be in an L shape or remain in that cross-legged. And if that does anything, again, for the posture, for how you feel. How your alignment is naturally and how it feels to move it. when we become aware of how our body is aligned. Begin breathing naturally. Just noticing what that feels like. And then finally we'll come to our practice for today. Just a little warm-up of self-awareness, but now we'll come to the real meat of it. So there are 5 prompts that I'm going to give. You can choose 1, you can choose 2, 3, 4, 5, however many speak to you. That we'll kind of contemplate as we're going to come onto our backs and use our bolsters, our pillows, to be in line with the spine and kind of help that alignment that most of us probably have from sitting at the computers, from looking at Instagram. So just helping what is called upper cross syndrome, so kind of a deformation of the neck and shoulders. And so we're really going to work with that today in a very passive way by laying on a bolster or a pillow or a blanket or towel. And as we lie down, we're going to contemplate one or many of these prompts that I'm going to give. So I'll start as you get situated to tell you what prompts there are. So first is, what is the story I'm telling myself right now? So that's the first prompt as you get ready to lie down on your back. What is the story I'm telling myself right now? It's becoming aware of how you feel about the story you're telling yourself right now. The second prompt, what qualities am I grateful to embody? What qualities am I grateful to embody? And the third one, what is the one thing I can commit to today that my future self will thank me for? What is the one thing I can commit myself to today that my future self will thank me for? The fourth prompt, I am my most authentic self when I am my most authentic self when I. And then the last prompt that you can choose from is, what is the one past event that I previously perceived as a failure and now I perceive as a gift? What is the one past event that I previously perceived as a failure and now perceived as a gift? So we're going to come onto our backs. Hopefully you have chosen what prompt you will be thinking about or contemplating as we come onto our backs. So for example, I'm going to choose, what is the one past event that I previously perceived as a failure and now perceive as a gift, especially now on this new year. So I'm going to we're going to make sure that the pillow, bolster, blanket, whatever it is in line with the spine. We're going to let the chest open so you can have the legs straight out. I chose to have my legs in a cross-legged, or you can even bring the feet together. But just letting the arms come out either down to the sides or out to the sides. Just finding the chest opening and the neck opening that feels right for you. Again, just allowing it to be a passive posture. Maybe noticing the sensations as you remember the prompt that you're contemplating. Any of the 5. And really allowing yourself to be honest with the prompt. Whichever one you chose. And as you contemplate the prompt and allowing yourself to be honest, allowing yourself also to recognize whatever emotions might arise from the prompt or from what you come up with. Now as we're settling down in this posture, and allowing ourselves to contemplate, maybe you perhaps would like to slow down the breath. Maybe really starting to allow that inhale and exhale to slow down. And just allowing yourself to dig deep into the prompt, becoming a little more self-aware. Perhaps you surprise yourself with answers you've never thought you would say. Allowing yourself to be truthful and compassionate. Not judging the answers that come up, not judging the emotions that come up. Allowing yourself to bask in full self-awareness. You can stay with one prompt, as I said, or maybe you want to change. Maybe another one that spoke to you as well. Maybe you answered one and now you're going for another. Maybe you answered what story you're telling yourself, and now you're going to go for something that you can commit to today that your future self will be thankful for. Or maybe you want to think about or contemplate about that failure that now is a gift. Again, observing, no judgment, whatever comes up. Deep, slow breaths. Allowing yourself to be honest with how you feel about your answers. Perhaps as you contemplate these prompts and start answering them mentally, you're honest with that emotion. Oh, that makes me sad. That makes me angry. And perhaps see what happens when you take the meat out of it. That's sad. That's anger. That's joy. And as these things come up, maybe you feel sensations in the body. Maybe as an emotion, as a thought, as a memory comes, you feel a reflection somewhere in the body. Taking note of when that happens. As you contemplate one, any, all of these prompts, perhaps you start to notice how the body feels in this supported and passive position. Perhaps you're coming to this practice after a long work day. Perhaps you're doing this right after waking up. Just noticing how that feels in the body. Becoming aware of how the posture affects you, affects your mind, affects the body. Perhaps noticing also that feeling of, I needed this today. Or perhaps you know the feeling of, this is very difficult to do at this time. Both being perfectly normal. find yourself starting to drift off or finishing the contemplation of the prompts, the sensations, letting go of the sensations of self-awareness in the mind, in the body, and in the breath. You can feel free to stay here, especially if you have spent a long day hunched over. Feel free to stay in this posture as long as you like. Feel free to come up with your own prompt. Studying yourself and the reactions you have to statements, to emotions. If you feel like this session is now complete, then feel free just slowly to roll to one side. Maybe coming off the bolster pillow, or maybe having a little bit of support from the bolster pillow. Just allowing yourself to readjust here. Maybe opening the eyes, and now bringing that self-awareness externally. Being aware of where you are. Perhaps first physically, you're on the mat, you're on the floor, you're in whatever room, in whatever home. Then maybe mentally, I'm at peace, I'm at work with myself, I'm struggling, I am sad, I'm in renewal, whatever statement it might be. And then whenever you feel ready, slowly coming up to a seated position. You can come back onto the pillow or bolster if you'd like, or you can continue to stay just seated on the mat. Just allow yourself to take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth, sighing it out. Again, breathing in through the nose and exhale out through the mouth. Remembering that yoga is not just the physical practice, that these prompts, these studies into self-awareness of the mind, the breath, your own energy are also part of yoga and the therapeutic benefits it can provide. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. See you soon. Namaste.